Government's draft city taxi rules aimed at keeping app-based taxi operators in check has not gone down well with Uber, which is eyeing a larger pie of the country's transport segment. And they've now taken their objections to the people. Well, you heard that right. The US-based taxi hailing app has kicked off an online campaign seeking support from people in Mumbai, and more than 60,000 riders have signed it. CNBC-TV18's Farah Bookwala caught up with Shailesh, Sawlani, the general manager for Uber's Western region, and began by asking him just how critical the Mumbai market is to Uber's operations.
We've had over 75,000 driver partners that have registered on the platform. So I think what we've unearthed is in 2.5 years is very, very promising. There's about 4 million riders, customers who've engaged with the platform. And what we're talking about in terms of the regulations is going to pose significant challenges towards how we continue to operate.
Well, Shailesh, the new rules also propose that at least 50% of the fleet that Uber India would have to be that of cars with an engine capacity of 1.4 litre or above. Now, my question to you is that currently, what percentage of your fleet is that of cars with above 1.4 litre diesel, 1.4 litre engines? Because I'm really trying to basically assess how hard will it be for you to get to that 50% number?
Yeah, so it is definitely a big concern, and for multiple reasons, right? And I think the first thing we need to acknowledge and probably understand is what this is actually trying to solve for. Because the only thing that this does is it increases the cost and the barrier to entry into this sector, right? And what this effectively does is it actually puts out more expensive cars on the streets that are not actually fuel efficient or are less fuel efficient, and this seems like an arbitrary measure that's that's dictating what should be, rather than letting a market force determine whether more economical cars are required or slightly premium or luxury cars are required.
Essentially, if this notification were to become a law, it would essentially put diesel cars out of your fleet.
So while we acknowledge that, I think what's key to understand is we need to get into the specifics here. Number one, is the CNG infrastructure actually capable of taking on this additional volume? Number two is, I think we've got to have some kind of a phased approach. What if a solution could be something like, going forward, we only encourage CNG vehicles to come onto the platform, but give some kind of a benefit or some kind of a phase out period for the current vehicles to move to CNG.
Interestingly, your rival Ola has gone on record to say that these draft rules are rather forward-looking. Why is it that they see the regulation so favorably?
Right, I wouldn't want to comment on the stance that anyone else is taking. I think it's clear to see, and it's pretty evident, and I think obvious in terms of if there's excessive costs that are coming into play, and there's it's going to create an entry barrier, one for other aggregators to come into play,